The slap came out of nowhere, a sharp crack that echoed through my skull like a gunshot in a quiet room. My grandson's tiny hand, chubby fingers splayed wide, connected with my cheek with surprising force, the impact sending a jolt of pain radiating down my jaw. I tasted blood, hot and coppery, where my teeth had clamped down on my tongue. The living room blurred for a second. The faded floral curtains I'd sewn for them years ago, the toy-strewn carpet underfoot, the faint hum of the refrigerator in the adjacent kitchen. Tommy, my 4-year-old bundle of chaos, stood there with wide eyes, his mouth open in a mix of shock and triumph, as if he'd just discovered a new game. Then the laughter hit, worse than the slap. My son, David, threw his head back from his spot on the recliner, his deep guffaw filling the space like toxic smoke. "Oh, Mom. He's only playing," he managed between breaths, his phone slipping from his lap as he clutched his stomach. His wife, Sarah, leaned against the doorframe, her arms crossed, a sneer twisting her perfectly glossed lips. "Go on, Evelyn. Don't make a scene. It's not like he meant it. Go on." The words hung in the air, unfinished in the title of my unraveling life, but complete in their dismissal. "Go on with your pathetic existence, old woman. Go away." Humiliation burned hotter than the welt rising on my skin, a wave of heat that flushed my face and tightened my chest. I, Evelyn Harper, 62 years old, widow, devoted grandmother, reduced to a punchline in my own family's home. The home I'd helped them buy with my savings, scrimping on my pension so they could have the white picket fence in suburbia. I pressed a hand to my cheek, feeling the tender swell, and forced myself to kneel down to Tommy's level. My knees creaked in protest, a reminder of the years I'd given. "That hurts, sweetie," I said, my voice a whisper cracked with unshed tears. Tommy giggled, oblivious, and darted off to his pile of blocks, knocking them over with a clatter that mocked my pain. David wiped his eyes, still chuckling. "See, kids are resilient. You okay, Mom? Want some ice?" Sarah's sneer deepened as she pushed off the wall, her high heels clicking on the hardwood. "She's fine. Always so dramatic." Her tone was light, but her eyes, those sharp blue eyes, held a glint of something darker, a resentment that had been simmering for years. I stood slowly, my legs unsteady, anger coiling in my gut like a serpent awakening. This wasn't just a child's impulse. It was the culmination of slights, the betrayal of blood. I'd raised David alone after his father left us for a younger woman when David was 10. Nights of overtime at the factory, skipping my own dreams so he could go to college. And Sarah. I'd embraced her, baked her favorite casseroles, babysat so she could climb the corporate ladder in marketing. Now this. Laughter at my expense. Dismissal. That night, back in my modest apartment, the one with peeling wallpaper and a view of the alley dumpster, the fury festered. I paced the linoleum kitchen floor, the fluorescent light flickering overhead, casting harsh shadows that matched my mood. The slap's echo replayed in my mind, each recollection amplifying the humiliation. Heartbreak joined the mix, a deep ache in my chest. How could they? My own son. Resentment built layer upon layer like storm clouds gathering. Denial came first, a fragile shield. Tommy didn't mean it. David was tired from work. Sarah was stressed. But fantasies intruded, dark and vivid. I imagined marching back, grabbing Sarah by her perfect bob haircut, forcing her to feel the sting. Or telling David the truth about his father, the secrets I'd kept to protect him. Doubt crept in, am I overthinking? But obsession took hold. I sat at my desk, staring at family photos. David's graduation, Tommy's birth. Tears blurred the images, but resolve hardened. This was war, quiet and calculated. The next morning, sunlight filtered through grimy blinds, and I called David. My voice was steady, betraying nothing. "How's my little slugger?" I asked, injecting false cheer. He laughed again, the sound grating like nails on chalkboard. "Tommy's fine, Mom. Bouncing off the walls as usual. You coming over this weekend?" "Of course," I replied, my mind already planning. "Wouldn't miss it." I started small, weaving myself deeper into their lives to observe, to gather. That Saturday, I arrived with a batch of homemade apple pie, the cinnamon scent filling their kitchen as I sliced it. Tommy hugged my legs, sticky fingers leaving marks on my skirt. David devoured a piece, moaning in appreciation. "You're the best, Mom." Sarah hovered, her smile thin. "Evelyn, you spoil us too much. We can manage without all this help." Her words dripped with implication. "We don't need you." But I smiled back, sweet as the pie. "Nonsense. Family helps family." Inside, my thoughts churned with brutal honesty. They take and take, then laugh when I bleed. I noticed the cracks then. David's lingering glances at his phone, Sarah's quick temper. While they stepped out for errands, I snooped, subtly at first. A drawer left ajar revealed credit card statements, overflowing with luxuries I couldn't afford. A whispered phone call overheard, Sarah to a friend. "Evelyn's always here. Like a bad habit we can't shake." Guilt nipped at me as I left that day. "They're your family. Stop this paranoia." But the slap's memory fueled me. Over weeks, suspense built in quiet moments. I volunteered more, picking Tommy up from daycare, where his teachers praised my involvement. "You're a godsend," one said. At home, I'd accidentally leave laundry unfolded, letting it wrinkle, a petty jab at Sarah's perfectionism. Dialogue revealed hidden motives. At dinner one evening, the table laden with my cooked meal, Sarah poked at her food. "Evelyn, have you thought about retiring somewhere nice? Florida, maybe. Get some sun." David nodded, fork midway to mouth. "Yeah, Mom. You deserve a break from all this." Their words were a veil for get out of our lives. I sipped my water, suppressing rage. "Oh, I'm not going anywhere. Not yet." The hint was subtle, a foreshadowing of vengeance, but they missed it, lost in their self-centered bubble. Obsession grew, nights spent plotting. I fantasized justice, exposing their ingratitude publicly, perhaps on social media, or cutting them off financially. The little loans I'd given never repaid. Moral conflict raged. Revenge makes you know better. But cold resolve won. I began documenting. Photos of neglected chores, recordings of snide comments on my phone. One rainy afternoon, while babysitting, Tommy napped, and I accessed David's laptop. Password, Tommy123, unchanged and lazy. Emails popped up. Flirty messages to a coworker named Lisa. "Can't wait for our meeting tonight." Betrayal hit like a second slap. My son cheating just like his father. Heartbreak overwhelmed me. I cried in their bathroom, the mirror reflecting a broken woman. But resentment transformed it to fuel. The plan formed: use this. Not immediately. Slowly, letting tension rise. Foreshadowing came in small acts. I forgot to mention a daycare pickup, forcing Sarah to leave work early. Her glare when she arrived. "Evelyn, you can't be unreliable." "Sorry," I said, innocent. Inside, this is just the beginning. As weeks turned to months, fear mingled with excitement. What if they discovered my snooping? Doubt plagued quiet nights, but the pursuit consumed me. Layered emotions, anger at their betrayal, guilt at my scheming, obsession with balance, drove me forward. The air in the coffee shop was thick with the aroma of fresh grounds and steamed milk, a deceptive calm as I waited for Sarah. I'd texted her, "Need to talk. Important. About David." Her reply was swift, curious. She arrived flustered, her designer coat damp from the drizzle outside. Her eyes scanning the room before settling on me with wary politeness. "Evelyn, what's this about?" She slid into the booth, ordering a latte without asking if I wanted anything. Typical. I leaned forward, my voice low, laced with feigned concern. "I found something. Emails. On David's computer when I was fixing it last week." A lie, but believable. I'd always been the tech-savvy one in the family. Her face paled, but she recovered quickly. "What emails?" "With his coworker, Amanda." I slid a printed page across the table, redacted just enough to tease. The words jumped out. Can't wait to see you again. Last night was incredible. Sarah's hand trembled as she read, her sneer from that fateful day replaced by raw shock. This can't be. But doubt flickered. She'd suspected, I realized. Her own secrets, perhaps. I thought you should know, I said softly, guilt gnawing at me even as satisfaction bloomed. This was revenge, but it hurt seeing her crumble. Heartbreak for her mirrored my own. She crumpled the paper. Why tell me? Why not confront him? Because you're family, I lied, my inner thoughts a storm. Because I want you to suffer like I did. Humiliated, alone. She left in a rush, eyes glistening. That night the calls started. David, frantic. Mom, what did you say to Sarah? She's hysterical. Just the truth, son. My voice was calm, but inside, obsession pulsed. The slow burn had ignited. Days blurred into calculated chaos. Sarah confronted David. Screams echoed through phone lines when I accidentally called during a fight. Tommy sensed the tension, clinging to me during visits. Why mommy sad? He'd ask. His innocent eyes piercing my resolve. Guilt surged. Am I destroying him too? But resentment pushed forward. I planted more seeds. Anonymous emails to David's boss about inappropriate conduct, using a burner account. His promotion stalled. Stress lines etched his face. Sarah's sales dipped as rumors spread. I'd whispered to mutual friends about troubles at home. Inner conflict peaked one stormy evening. Alone, I stared at old photos. David as a baby, Tommy's first steps. Tears fell. What have I become? Doubt screamed to stop, but cold resolve whispered. They started it. The slap, the laughter, the dismissal. Dialogue escalated tension. At a forced family lunch, Sarah snapped. This is your fault, Evelyn. Meddling where you don't belong. David sighed. Mom, please. Stay out of it. I met their eyes, fury veiled. I only want what's best. Hidden motive, ruin. Suspense built to a crescendo. I discovered Sarah's own betrayal. A fling with a client, receipts I'd kept. The plan's pinnacle. Confront them together. The showdown came at their house, rain lashing the windows like accusations. Tommy napped upstairs as I laid out the evidence. Emails, receipts, all. David's face crumpled. Mom. How could you? Sarah sneered but broken. You're a monster. Anger exploded. Me. After you laughed at my pain. Treated me like garbage. The twist hit. Tommy wandered in sleepy-eyed. Gamma. In the chaos, he'd overheard fragments. His little mind piecing horrors. But the real shock, David confessed. We were going to tell you. We're moving. Cutting ties. You smother us. Heartbreak shattered me. My revenge had accelerated their plan. Obsession backfired. In the aftermath, they distanced, but guilt consumed them. David lost his job. Sarah's affair exploded publicly. Poetic justice. Or my Pyrrhic victory. I watched from afar, resolve fading to regret. The slap's sting paled against self-inflicted wounds. Revenge tasted bitter, but in the quiet I found peace, free from their chains, haunted by mine.